Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining us today on Polywine, where we like to take a deep dive into stories pulled from the media and have a fun time while breaking it down. I'm Jillian, and let's get into it. So, here in the Mid Atlantic, spring is in the air, the cherry blossoms are just starting to bud, and spring break is in full force. Now, here in the DC area, there is a story that has recently caught national news of a Northern Virginia girl who is a University of Pittsburgh student, 20-year-old Sadushka Kinoke. And I really hope I said her name correctly. She has been reported missing in the Dominican Republic while she was on spring break with some friends. Now, this is where I find the story a little bit interesting. Now, I'm just going to condense the story down a little bit. Now, her and her friends were in the DR on vacation during spring break. They went out for a night of fun. They came back to the hotel and went to the beach. She stayed back on the beach and never returned. After she was reported missing and upon the investigation, there was one man interviewed by authorities that was either with her at the beach or saw her at the beach around the last time she was seen. Okay. This man was interviewed by authorities, but has given several different versions of what he saw last. And this is where I find this story giving me Natalie Holloway-esque vibes. Now, I don't know if you're familiar with the Natalie Holloway story, but I think it was in the early 2000s. This gorgeous young girl and a group of friends went to Aruba on vacation after graduating, and her and a group of friends, they went out to a night of clubbing, came back. She went out to the beach with this guy to hang out and was never seen again. And it was deemed an accident, possible drowning. But years later, the Vandersloot was the guy that was being questioned, ended up confessing that he did in fact kill her and, dispose of her body in the ocean. This is what Vandersloot said many years later. Just reminds me very much like that. I'm not saying this individual is guilty. I am not saying if he knows anything, but this situation is very unusual. Evidently, this man's version of his story was he thinks that maybe she was possibly swept away by waves walking near the water, or she got in the water and a big wave took her away. Or he said that he was out in the water and was knocked down by a wave. Once he came to the shore, started vomiting, went to a chair and passed out. It's along the story, just condensing the story a little bit. And it is just bizarre. Now, the man said he was drinking. He said that he doesn't know what's happened. He passed out. He was caught on camera going towards the hotel a while later, but this girl is nowhere to be found. And the fact that there are different versions of the story given to authorities, I find to be suspicious. This man may very well be innocent, have no idea what's going on. It's just weird. And knowing what happened in the Natalie Holloway story, I just find it very, very suspicious myself, that's just my opinion. The FBI is now involved. Different authorities are also involved in the investigation. The authorities in the Dominican Republic are saying that they're presuming that it's a drowning, but the investigation is ongoing. Again, this man, they do not think has any ties, but he has been investigated and still will be a part of the investigation. I just find it really weird that it's like, again, it's a similar situation with the Natalie Holloway thing. She goes to the beach, after a night of partying, and there may or may not have been a guy there that was with her or maybe just close to her. But now once questioned by authorities, now suddenly there's several different versions. I find it very unusual, but the family, this 20-year-old Kanievsky's family has flown down to the Dominican Republic to help the investigation and help find their missing daughter. And they have pleaded with the authorities to please expand the reach of their investigation and make sure that nothing has been ruled out. They want to, no stone unturned. It's just such a sad story when you see pictures and videos of this young girl. She's beautiful. She is pre-med, so smart, and the whole world was just open to her. So it's just so sad. And like I said, the family is just wants any possibility of kidnapping, foul play, anything like that. They want any option to be investigated, just not the whole drowning possibility. It's just, you know, it is a very scary thing when women travel abroad. Just anything can happen to anyone, anywhere, but especially women, young women, they're especially vulnerable. It's a parent's worst nightmare, but just spring break and young women traveling, even with a group or alone, being alone at any time, is a very scary, dangerous situation. So I hope that she is found and she is found safely and healthy. Oh, just a terrible, terrible story. And like I said, it is a local story here, so it's just on a loop, and it should be. We want as much attention to this young girl so we can help find her, at least solve what happened to her. It's just such a sad story. Going into another sad story, and that is Gene Hackman and his wife, Betsy Awakawi. And I apologize if I am getting any of these names wrong. I am really terrible with names. But this story about his death and her passing is just sad. And we're still waiting on toxicology reports. The investigation is still ongoing, but we're getting a little bit more details coming out about the timeline of the passing between the wife and Gene Hackman. And that is, according to some reports that have coming out, that his wife, Betsy Awakawi, passed away from a disease is passed on by rodents, and it's called the hantavirus, and that is passed on through urine, feces, and saliva by rodents. And according to authorities, they didn't see any rodent infestation in the homes. They didn't see any rodent penetration through the home barriers. So they're just kind of perplexed on how she contracted this virus, but she did in fact pass from this virus, and she passed, from what authorities can tell, on February the 18th. That's the last she was seen, and the last time there was any type of outside contact to her by emails, calls, anything like that. That was the last time any outgoing contact from her. But according to some of the investigation and some of the things that have been leaked out by the authorities, that they believe that Gene Hackman ended up passing 7 days later in the home. And we're still waiting on the toxicology and some of the other reports to come out from the autopsy and the dog's necropsy, because there was a dog that was also in the home that had passed, that was next to the wife. So we're still waiting for some more information to come out, but oh God. And it just, the authorities said that they believe that Hackman ended up passing due to complications with Alzheimer's disease, but he actually had some cardiovascular issues going on. I mean, he was in the home for 7 days, and he did have advanced Alzheimer's. So authorities are saying it's possible, we don't know, but that he may have been unaware that his wife had passed, and he was just going about his routine inside the home for 7 days, completely unaware that his wife had passed. So just tragic. And, to have an entertainment legend like that, just such a sad end. Now, moving over to some I guess you could call it entertainment news or just wackadoodle news, and that is, do you remember the Fire Festival years ago in the Bahamas that the It was a festival that never was. It was a disaster where people paid prime prices to go to this exclusive concert in the Bahamas. And when they showed up, there was no transportation. The accommodations were just, oh my God, just absolutely horrific. I mean, they were just makeshift tents. They had soaked mattresses from the rain. They were damaged tent. There was not even enough accommodations for places for people to stay. There was not enough food, and what little food they had, it was basically like a cheese sandwich. I mean, it was a debacle. There were no concerts. There was nothing. It was just a mess. And Billy McFarland, actually, who was the host of the festival, actually ended up going to prison years later for defrauding investors and consumers. He pled guilty and served a little bit under 4 years for the Fire Festival. Well, guess what? He decided he wants to do a reboot, and it's a Fire Festival 2. He said it was going to happen between May 30th through June 2nd, 2025 in Cancun. Tickets ranging anywhere from $1,400 to $1.1 million. And here we go during interviews when Billy McFarland is being asked who are the performers, what about the accommodations and travel. It is, you get a little bit or a lot of nothing. You get no information. He doesn't state who is performing at the festival. So that's a little suspect. Considering what happened to the first one. And there is actually performers and entertainers that committed to the Fire Festival one, and then when things weren't adding up, they backed out at the last minute, and it was just a free-for-all, and it was just a mess, and it was dire straits. But it's kind of, it seems like history's starting to repeat itself. I haven't heard any confirmed performers. He gives a lot of wishy-washy information when he asks details, and buyer beware. That's all I can say. If you are thinking about going to Fire Festival 2, please be cautious and be mindful. Remember Fire Festival 1, it was a debacle. And also please do your research. If Billy McFarland says this person is confirming or this group is performing there, please do your research. Go and find out if they are actually performing, showing up, committed, any of that. So let's see if it actually happens, if it plays out, if it does, what is the end result? But again, buyer beware, be cautious. So Fire Festival 2. Interestingly enough, the authorities in Cancun, Mexico say they know nothing about it, and they don't have the regulations or the permits or anything like that to perform this festival. Same thing happened in the Bahamas, by the way. So let's see where that goes. It should be interesting, if not a hot mess. Just a word to the wise, caution. Now, everyone, we have a Wendy Williams update. This is news. Wendy Williams, our beloved Wendy Williams, we talk about Wendy here, our Auntie Wendy, who I love so very much. My auntie, you want to have table talk. So everyone has been concerned about Wendy. There has been a movement online, free Wendy, and this is about her conservatorship. And Wendy has been getting a little bit of information out there through phone calls to a variety of people, to journalists, to Harvey Levin on TMZ, to Charlemagne the God on his podcast, to just variety of sources in the media, news, and entertainment world. She's putting it out there. She feels like she is a prisoner in this this facility that she is staying at. The conservatorship has placed her in, and she is in the memory unit, and she says she's a prisoner, that she has been misdiagnosed. She doesn't have frontal lobe dementia and aphasia, that she feels that she has been misdiagnosed, and she is being imprisoned. And yesterday, the EMTs, the paramedics were called, and also police and local authorities were called to respond to a call that a woman was in distress. And Wendy was actually taken by police and firefighters and wonderful EMT. And she was escorted out of the facilities and was taken to a local hospital so she could be evaluated again by a psychiatrist. And I did hear through social media that there was a leak that, according to somebody close in the facility where this test was given, that she answered 10 out of 10 questions correctly on this cognitive test. Again, those are rumors swirling around the social media. But I can tell you, she sounds very clear-headed. I saw the TMZ documentary. I've heard some of the interviews that she's done on the news, online, on the podcast. It does, in fact, sound like our old Wendy. And if she is better, truly better, this is just such a disservice to her. And she's just withering away in what she claims to be a prison. It definitely does seem like a prison. And my heart, oh my, Wendy, it goes out to you. So maybe this evaluation with a new doctor will prompt a quick response by her medical team, her conservatorship team, and prompt something speedy through the court to reverse or change, alter this care for her. Wendy, we love you here on Polywine. I personally just think the world of you. I've said before in other podcasts that, Wendy, I tuned into you in some of my darkest days, and in the moments I didn't think I could crack a smile, you made me laugh. And so I will always be grateful for you for those moments and always want the best for you, you know? And that goes for all of your viewers, your followers, your fans, everyone. So we're cheering you on, Wendy, and I hope that this new evaluation will get the ball rolling, change this plan of care. We want you better. We want what is best for you. I don't know if removing you fully from conservatorship is the right plan. That's not my call. But we want what is the best plan of action for you. So let's get you better, Wendy. I really am curious to see really what this diagnosis is going to be from this new doctor. And if it's completely different from what the previous diagnosis was, which sent her into this whole conservatorship anyway, I wonder how you kind of justify that. So I'm interested to see how this plans out. But Wendy, no matter what, we love you and we're cheering you on. We are here for you. Now, I want to get into a little bit of entertainment, some shows, and I want to say, I've been talking about it. I am loving this new season of White Lotus on HBO Max. Mike White, you are giving it to us so good this season. The stories are great. The stories are compelling. This past week, the suspense that you built with the music and just the character and the story development, it was so good. Oh my God, I love it. And just Jason Isaac can do the kind of the calm panic so well, but that music in the background, the suspense, and the monkeys, I mean, it just, the anxiety, it was so good. And then can we just talk about what HBO has always done best? And Jason Isaac went full frontal. Yes, full frontal. Freeze frame, total moment, not a pass through. Wow, right there. And you know, HBO has never held back on that. So if you are curious, Jason Isaac went full frontal in this past episode of White Lotus. So not only was it just a great episode, you get a little bit more than you usually do. So A couple weeks ago, Patrick Schwarzenegger had a scene, and now Jason Isaac. So, jam packed this season on White Lotus. But God, what a great season! All the stories and the characters are excellent. I'm just loving the whole season so far. It is so good. I went back and watched a little bit of season 2. I might have to go back and watch a little bit of season 1 because it was a long time ago and I forgot a lot. And I hope you've already been greenlit for the 4th season. And where is that destination going to be? I want to know. I want to know. Now let's get over into the beautiful hot world of Bravo and Peacock. The Traitors season 3 finale happened, and we got a double hitter on Peacock. And that is because not only did this the finale, we also got the reunion. Andy, thank you for going to Scotland, going full castle, and giving us the reunion right away. I thank you, sir. Thank you. The finale was one of the best, I think, game finales in a while. So who went to the end? The end, we had Dylan. We have our beautiful housewife of New Jersey, Dolores Catania. We had Gabby from The Bachelor. And then we have Ivern from the royal family. I don't know how Ivor got so far. I still do not know. But he played it safe and it worked for him. Usually that safe card only goes so far, but he rode that one out and it worked for him. They all went to the final 4 and they all voted to stay together because they all believed that they were faithfuls, and all 4 of them were, and they were able to split the prize pot together 4 ways. It was a very dramatic round table, a very dramatic end where they're around the fire pit throwing in their bags of tricks that sends off the green or the red smoke, and the green is that you want to stay and move on, and the red bag of smoke signal that you wanted to vote again. They all went green, or they all went together, and it was a really nice ending. It was really nice. Yeah, we need those happy endings today. We really need a good happy ending, and it's nice that they all believed in each other. So beautiful ending to a wonderful season. Again, I'm going to say Alan Cummings, your, I don't know, fringe tinseled poncho at the end. Wonderful. And the dog. I'm going to come back to the dog because I think the dog is just great. The dog with the royal cape and the crown. Amazing. Just amazing. I adore that dog. So cute. So happy ending. And then boom, we go straight into the reunion. What a great reunion. I kind of wanted a little bit more, like a part 2, to get a little bit of extra details in there, but it was excellent. It was an absolutely excellent closure, excellent reunion, very dramatic. Danielle, who was voted off last, she was still bitter at Brittany Brittany was last and Brittany voted off Danielle. Still bitter, super bitter. To see them fight was great. Holy moly. Dorinda, who was the first person to be voted off, still pissed at Bob the drag queen, who, boy, if he didn't get the memo to show up in a stunning outfit, the makeup alone, I couldn't stop staring at it. Art. It was art with the red little slash. Amazing. But everybody looked beautiful, but God, Dorinda was still pissed off about, he said something like, I don't even know who Dorinda is. Like, she shouldn't be mad. I don't even know who Dorinda was. Dorinda held on to that and just stayed pissed about that for how long the filming of this show was. And she just let Bob have it. And he was like, look, man, it's nothing personal. It's a game. I don't know you. I came in here and didn't know many people. So don't take it personal. It's a game. And and that's kind of how I feel about Danielle. Like, it's a game. Like, you knew it was going to go that way. It's a game, and every man or woman for themselves until you get to the fire pit around the final four. And then you can either every man for themselves or you can vote to stay together. And that's what they did. It was a kumbaya moment. I loved it. But Danielle, still pissed. Dorinda, still pissed. Bob Harper was loving every minute of it. And Rob, yes, everybody loved Rob this season. Everyone loved Rob. And I thought it was so funny. Sierra from Summer House, who did that really disgusting challenge with the bugs with Rob. And, an unlikely pair, but they really mustered through that challenge, that repulsive challenge. They did well together. They really were strong together on a team challenge. And she even was like, she even said, I was thankful I had him in that moment. I don't know if I could have done it with anybody else. And she was saying, if I would have known that you were such a babe years ago, oh my God, who knew that you were such the cat daddy? And that was a really funny moment. But the fact that Dylan and Rob have like this bromance, and they had this little video that they were showing of Rob picking Dylan up at the airport. And Bob Harper was pissed. He was like, I feel like I've been alienated out of the bromance, and you didn't pick me up from the airport. And he was a little bitter about that. So it was funny, but Bob Harper was loving the reunion, just going, this reunion, Andy, is so good. And he's right. It was a very good reunion. But when things come to a close, new things begin, like The Real Housewives of Atlanta, season 16 premiere. What a season premiere. Our girl Portia is back, and haven't we missed Portia? She's such a great personality. She's so funny. She's so silly. I am really liking the fact that old-time friend Shamia, who's been around since like day one of Portia, finally got a peach. Finally got a peach. There's a bit of mix-up this season. You have some of the old coming back, and you have new castmates coming to this season. And boy, they're bringing classic housewives back to this season. You know when the housewives really started? It's the glam, the life of excess, and just over the top and bling. Yes, we are getting that back in a very big way. So season 16, we have Portia. Portia is, let's not forget, Portia is going through a very, very messy divorce with her new husband. That's, look, innocent until proven guilty, but has a little, shady past that's kind of catching up with them now, but now they're in a very messy divorce that's causing a lot of conflict in her life. But I am thrilled that Shamia's back, and Shamia really showed up this first episode. She's been around since the beginning. She's always been a friend of, and just, popped in here and there. So she knows the playbook a little bit, kind of being around and behind the scenes and a friend of. But she really showed up and stand out this episode of The Real Housewives of Atlanta. So we have Portia, we have Shamia, but Phaedra's going to be coming back, which is great because Frick and Frack are back, but she did not show up this past episode, so she'll be coming in. But I am excited to have Miss Phaedra back, and I hope her and Phaedra and Portia are still close. I don't know, but I really hope so because they were great back in the day. Then you have Miss Kenya. Kenya was there, and as much as I love Kenya, there has been a little bit of controversy with Kenya. She was kind of asked to leave during the filming of this season. I was concerned that she was actually going to get cut out that we weren't going to see her at all. But we actually saw Kenya this season at Shamia's birthday party. So happy to see Kenya for as long as we get her. Very happy. And then we also have Cynthia. This beautiful high cheekbone Cynthia is back. She still looks gorgeous. I mean, man, Cynthia always looks great, especially at post-divorce. She looks so good. Poor Cynthia's coming back after another divorce. But I am liking the old cast members back. So we got Portia, Phaedra, Kenya for a little while, and Drew. I almost forgot Drew. We got Drew and who else? Cynthia. I don't know why I was drawing a blank. And Cynthia. So I'm very happy with those ladies coming back. Very pleased. Those are going to bring the drama. They're going to bring the fun. I remember freaking Frack back in the day, and they're fun. And seeing Shamia and Portia just hanging out at this strip club. She's like, she'll take a double Hennessy, I'll take a double tequila, and we're here to have fun. And you just hear the girl like in front of her on the pole working her moves. And she's like, oh, look at that. I love Portia. I think she's so fun. So I'm glad. And her and Shamia, I mean, that scene right there in the strip club, those two just having some lunch over some cocktails, enjoying themselves. It seems like a pretty truthful moment. It seems like they do that often and have. It just seems so organic, right? And then there are the new girls. So let me go through the new girls. We have Britt Eady, funny. We have Kelly Farrell, who she's a business owner, owns the chicken and waffle place. She has a cookbook. I like her. Messy. Already bringing the mess. So good. And then we have Angela Oakley. And all these women are stunning. Absolutely stunning. They're fun. Seeing the girls' night out with them and Shamia, these girls look like a wild crew. They all have a ton of money. They love to be wild and out there. I think it's going to be an amazing season. So I am ready to roll with this cast. I mean, the one girl, was it Kelly? I want to make sure I get it right. Was it Kelly when they were out at the girls' night out? And she was asking about Portia's new man, or soon to be ex-man, the husband that she's going through the divorce with. Is it Simon? So she was like, well, isn't the timeline with his ex and their engagement like a little, isn't there some overlapping there? And isn't that questionable? And why are you taking somebody else's man? So, boom, shots fired already. And then you have them questioning Drew Sidora about her dating Portia's baby daddy, the hot dog king. Okay? So, I don't know why these groups find it so hard to date outside their circle, because you should. You should. And it's all these reality shows like that. They keep staying within the circle. Branch out, girls. Branch out. But I mean, the story building of the season, getting to know the new girls, coming back on stories that we haven't heard in a while. And that's like Miss Phaedra. That's like Miss Portia. Hearing those stories come back to us, because we already know their background and they stepped away for a while. Now that they're back, we want to catch up to what they're doing now, but we also want to hear what they've been doing in the past while we haven't seen them. I am thrilled Atlanta's back. I'm thrilled with the mix-up. And after that party at Shamia's house, first of all, that party, Shamia, your house is insane, extraordinary, opulent, gorgeous, so stylish. The she room? I want to call it a she shed because that room is essentially the size of somebody's shed. It is huge, or she shack, whatever you want to call it. That she room was amazing. Glamour girl room, whatever you call it. Gorgeous. But her party, what a great kickoff. Shamia got the assignment
She had the party. She already had everybody's story ready. And she was like, when you come to my party, just remember, Portia, you're going to be mad at Drew because she might be dating your baby daddy. Just remember that Portia, you might be pissed at this girl because she's already said something about you, about your questionable relationship timeline with your soon to be ex, maybe because you stole your friend's husband, you know? And then, I mean, she's just like, you're going to have a fight. You're going to have a fight. And when you're at my party, go. And that's what happened. And then, of course, amongst all that, she had a couple gorgeous outfits changed. She got a extravagant gift of a Rolls Royce that's almost $500,000. So did they bring the glitz? Did they bring the glam? Did they bring the drama? Did they bring the beauty? Did they bring the shadiness and the cattiness? Check, 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 check. Well done, Atlanta. You brought it back. Because I had walked away from Atlanta for a while, but I wanted to tune in just to see this new cast. And you got me. You got me. I'm back and I am here for it. I cannot wait to watch this season. I can't wait to watch the after show. And Bravo has really been kicking it off with some of the new shows and some of the new cast members, the mix up. It has been a fun watch. And I'm ready for some new shows. So if there's anything that you can think of that you would like for us to talk about on Polywines, new movies, new shows, documentaries, strange news, odd stories, anything you would like to discuss, please catch us on Polywine Time on Instagram. Thanks so much for joining us today on Polywine. It's been a pleasure being with you. And please follow us on Instagram at Polywine Time. And please follow, like, and subscribe Polywine wherever you get your feed. Thanks so much and have a great day. Bye.